Howdy, and welcome to Broken Tool Garage. This week, I'm going to be going over some aftermarket distributors. So one of those, like what you saw in there, is the Speedmaster, about to say Speedway, Speedmaster distributor versus the Pertronix distributor right there, right? And just kind of going over to see how they compare, just physically looking at them, what the internal components are, what's replaceable on them, what looks like it's not quite up to par, and what looks like it is up to par. So let's just get right to it. Okay, I'm going over a couple aftermarket distributors that you can put on your small block Mopar. Now this is kind of generalized right here because you can buy either one of these manufacturers for pretty much anything that you have, right? But I'm just going to go over the Pertronix Flamethrower Igniter 2 versus the Speedmaster's distributor. So I forgot how much this one is. This is considerably more expensive than this one. I think I paid around $65 for this one, and a couple hundred for this one, right? Alright, so I'm going to look at this one. Both of these sit around a little bit, so if you see dirt and stuff on it, that's what it is. One of the things that I look at whenever I buy like an aftermarket part like this is what's the construction, and then if I need replacement parts, how can I get them? So I'm not quite for sure what this distributor cap fits, but it does look like kind of like your standard small block Mopar with a clip style right here, a typical rotor and all that. So that's something you might have to go through the parts store if you needed something immediately, and just bring what you got and see what they can match it up with. Now the other thing, the reluctor wheel in here, this looks pretty robust. I like that. The wires in here, it looks like it has the AWG, the automotive wire gauge style insulation on them. It's a stiffer insulation, a little bit more insulation on there. I like that. Those look pretty good. This little piece here, the basically brains of it, that's also something that you can get. All these things you can get from Speedmaster to rebuild this distributor if you wanted to, right? So that's something I like. If you got your hot rod or something and one of these goes out, because parts do go out, then that's something you can rebuild and replace this. So if we look at the Pertronix setup, it has more of the, I think this is just the straight Chevy HEI style cap and rotor setup. You have the Igniter 2 right there. That is replaceable. So you can buy replacement components for this distributor as well. One of the things that I saw, and I didn't think about it, excuse me, until I was watching Uncle Tony's Garage, and he ran into a friend of his had a distributor failure, and it was the Igniter 2 Pertronix Flamethrower. Now, one of the things he didn't like was how these wires right here, it's not a very rigid insulation. It's almost like a real rubbery setup on there, which leads up into the ignition module right there. And I think he figured out that this right here, the connection in there went bad on that one. Now, that was one of one, so I would not say anything bad about either of these. If I had one of them fail, sample size 1. Now if you get 3 out of 3 that failed, that would be different. You got something there. You're starting to get something anyway, but 1 of 1, I wouldn't be concerned with that personally. So this right here is fully rebuildable. Now if we look at the difference, you can see this is shiny. This looks like a billet piece versus this is a cast piece, but this costs more money too. So you would expect that. You can get the billet distributor from Speedmasters as well. Alright, now this one I have had in the 73 Dodge work truck. It has ran. I've never ran this one. One of the things that I like about it is they both wire up the same way. So whenever I go to wire this system in the work truck, I'm going to put my connectors on here and make it so that I can pull this out. I'm not going to just hardwire it. I'm going to connect it up so if I'm running this one and it goes bad, I can put this one in, no problem. I got the same HEI style or male style terminal ends on here, so all my wires will be the same, and just pull one out and throw the other one in and done. Vice versa, if one of them were to go bad, I have a backup. That also allows me to kind of test the difference between the two. Do I see any performance difference or anything on there, which I wouldn't expect that. These things, they either work or they don't work, right? Anyways, that's just a little bit of overview of these two. I think I'm going to throw the Pertronics in there. I know this one worked at one point anyway. It's just set around, so it should still work. I'll probably go with this one. I may feel froggy and swap to this one at some point, but I'm going to put this one in and start the vehicle up with it and just be running this one and save this one for a backup. Because it's not like you can go to the parts store and buy any of these internal components. Like I said, you can do cap rotor, but if the modules go out, it's something that has to be ordered online. So that might be something, if it goes out on the road, I can get a ride back, go pick up the spare one, throw it in, and then drive the truck home, right? Alright, that'll sum that one up. Like I said, just going over a little bit of ignition system. I just wanted to show the difference since I happen to have both of these side by side. And that's it.